and welcome to another episode of That's Absurd. Please elaborate the science and comedy show where we do science and then make comedy
sometimes
with each other. The way I phrased that a little awkwardly, like, ooh, we make comedy with each other. It's not like making love.
Wow.
Well,
It is like making love. You have to know each other really well. You have to be okay with farting in front of each other. It's honestly the same. I don't see there's any different at all.
I am concerned for your personal life now. For your intimate
I don't know
moments.
why you would be. I'm fine with it.
I was just going to say I'm way better at making comedy. But I'm one of the two hosts. I'm Julian Huguet.
And I am the other of the two science communicators you're going to hear from. My name is Trace Dominguez.
Yes, and Trace, touch me.
Yeah, we're in the same room.
We're in the same room.
I love it.
Wow.
And these microphones that we're using sound so nice. Like I can only hear you through the mic. I can't really hear you in the room, even though I'm sitting like right next to you.
Oh, wow. Amazing. So I'm currently in New York visiting Trace. We're recording this right before doing our live show. So listener, if it sounds different on your end, now you understand why. But now I can reach out and make comedy with you more intimately. So that's nice.
That is nice.
If this is your first time listening, as always, sorry. But this is a show where Trace and we take questions from listeners. We actually delve in and try and research and find some real answers and then share them with you and each other in ways that amuse and delight. So Trace, what are you going to amuse and delight me with today?
So this question comes from longtime listener, lots time asker, but also poll winner, Trevor from Indiana.
Trevor from Indiana.
Of immortal squirrel fame and also cooking a chicken slapping fame. And a variety of other questions.
Trevor has many thoughts.
He has a lot of thoughts, and he shares them all with us.
Which is why we put them in the poll, so we're not biased in our selection.
If you're not aware, we have a Patreon. It is how we fund this show, and the patrons get the advantage of being able to vote on future questions that we answer here on the pod. So if you would like to vote on future questions and maybe block out Trevor from getting the lead, because he's currently got 3 solo questions and one that was paired up with another person. So he's got 4 of his questions answered. I think that's the leader. I think he's number 1.
We should make a leaderboard.
We should make a leaderboard. If somebody out there knows how to make a leaderboard, tell us. Anyway, his question, the whole point of this was, are we supposed to pick our nose?
Good question.
Have you ever noticed that our fingers are always the same size as our nostrils?
I have noticed.
Starting from birth into adulthood, it's like they're supposed to get up in there. And kids naturally pick their nose and eat their boogers, and that seems pretty innate. But the man is always keeping us down, making us blow our nose. I say nay, no more. Rise up against the clean-fingered patriarchy. Honestly, not picking your nose. Does that even solve anything? Really well done, Trevor. That was read for you by Trace Dominguez.
Yeah. It was practically poetry.
So, to start this answer, Julian.
Yeah.
Do you pick your nose?
We have a camera now. We record these.
Yeah, we do video now. If you're not aware, you can
and that's
watch
a
it on
shame
YouTube.
Because since we're recording, I have to actively fight the urge to pick my nose.
When I asked you?
All the time. No, just in general.
So you're constantly picking your
Somebody
nose.
commented on our YouTube video recently that I'm playing with my beard a lot. It's probably to avoid picking my nose.
Wow, Julian's a nose picker.
Big time.
I will go gold mining once in a while, but it's only if something's irritating me. I'm not like doing it all the time. But I get it. It's pretty common. I have a question for you. Aside from that, what is the best word for the stuff in our nose?
Oh,
because there's mucus.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that word. It's one of those words where you say it and you're like, I know that's gross.
Mm-hmm.
Mucus.
It's right up there with like moist.
Yeah.
Nubile.
You feel it when you say it. Yeah.
There's something visceral about mucus.
In the U.S., you hear boogers.
Booger.
It's really common. You like booger? Are you a booger man?
Booger's good.
Yeah.
Nuggies.
Nuggies.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Little gold nuggets that you're mining out of there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Snot.
Snot.
You a fan?
I am snot, but
I just think of the joke of you may think it's water, but it's not.
This to me reminds me of the, a bunch of different words for snow. Like a booger is like a solid like self-contained thing, but a snot is like endless, you know?
Yeah. I think of booger as, and I looked up some of the definitions of these.
I'm sorry. I just struck by the image of somebody listening to this in their car on a commute and really like having somebody say the word booger repeatedly coming out of their car speaker.
Yeah. I hope they have their windows down. So booger is like a dried mucus.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it has to be a lump. Maybe it has wet parts, but it's pretty dry.
Yeah, like in the center, you know, like that gooey center.
Gross. Snot is like mucus, but it's wet. Snot is never dry.
Yeah.
Snot is always like wet. What about in the UK, our across the pond friends, they like bogies.
Bogies?
Yeah. You got bogies in your nose.
Wait, but that's what like fighter pilots call like enemy planes.
Yeah, I think there's some research. I didn't want to get into it too much because we could spend all day on etymology, but there's something related to bogey, bogeyman, the bogey that you hear in UK English. Like they all come from like a similar root of like stuff that's, you know, lives in a cave or something weird. So it's like they all come from the same base. Like the bogeyman, although we say in the U.S. boogeyman, which also we say booger.
Sounds more like booger.
So I wonder if there's something there. Anyway, nose goblins.
Oh.
Ren and Stimpy, if you're a fan of Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, classic.
My nose goblins. In Australia, do you know what they call boogers or bogies or nose goblins? Good old NGs.
It's going to be fantastic, but I don't.
It's going to have... Look, here, every Australian alliteration follows the same pattern. It uses the first letter of the thing that you want, and then a double letter in the middle, and then an E at the end. Aussie is just, that's how they do, it's like brekkie and prezzy and like all of these things. So knowing that formula, what do you think it is?
Buzzy?
It's not. It's actually called snots.
You misled me.
I did. Or snorters.
Snorters? But in like an Australian accent, right?
So like, snorters.
Oh, you're digging for snorters.
Okay, I'm sold. I
rummaging around for some snorters, are we?
You got some snots. I got some snots. I need to. No, I'm from New Zealand. I found a whole Reddit thread on this from the Midlands in the UK. Greenies. There's also Liverpool, Northwest England, calls them crows because of, I don't know, their mining history or something. Like they would be black when you're digging them out. I'm not sure. The U.S., we would sometimes call it a bat in your belfry.
Yeah.
But that's usually if you're talking to somebody else. I don't necessarily say, I have a bat in my belfry.
I heard you say that to your son yesterday.
Yeah.
Was it influenced by this script, or was that...
No, it's something I say all the time.
Oh, okay.
You got a bat in your belfry. And it usually means something's hanging out. You got a little dingle-dangle, you know? Yeah. I looked up some other languages. In Spanish, the word for mosquito, it's an abbreviation for that, a moco.
A moco?
Yeah, you have mocos.
So it's a little fly?
Like, yeah, in your nose.
Okay.
In German, popel, which is fun because it actually literally, I'm like, but does that mean something? Does it mean like barrel or something? You know, like what does it mean? It just means snot, mucus.
I'm surprised it's not 24 letters long and literally translates to like the collection of mucus that is bundled inside one's nostrils.
Yes, and dried in the sun or something. Yeah. A mustache has the name Popelbremse, which is mucus break. I love that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get back to the question at hand. No pun intended. Are we supposed to pick our nose? I wanted to address, have you noticed that our fingers are always the same size as our nostrils starting from birth into adulthood? And you seemed very excited about that.
Well, when I was reading this, I'm like, the way that he uses the word supposed, right, makes me think, you know, our nostrils and our fingers are roughly the same diameter.
Yeah, roughly. So, have you heard of the banana argument?
No.
Okay, so the banana argument comes from an early 2000s video series from the creationist and antagonist Ray Comfort, an evangelical actor known in Growing Pains as well, appears in this video, Kirk Cameron. And in the video, Ray holds up a banana. And in a perfect YouTube hook, in the first seconds of the video says, "Behold, the atheist's nightmare."
It's true. Every time I see a banana at a grocery store, I collapse into a sobbing puddle.
It's so wrong, but it's such a good hook.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Wow. We could all hope that a YouTube video starts with something as provocative as that.
I'm just going to declare things people's nightmares.
So in every future video that you ever make, you're going to be like, this video is about the International Space Station. Behold, Chicken Little's nightmare.
The sky falling? Actually, I think you're onto something there. When it deorbits.
So Ray, little buddy Ray, goes on to argue with a straight face, mind you, the banana was designed by God just like the human hand, because they fit perfectly together. A banana fits perfectly in the hand. It has a top with a handle to facilitate opening. This has obviously been debunked again and again and again and again. There's no evidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
The banana that he brought, interestingly, is a bright yellow Cavendish, which is the banana that we eat most commonly today. However, prior to the 1970s, we didn't eat Cavendishes.
The Grand Michel.
That's right, because they were wiped out by a banana disease. And how could that have happened, Julian? That they would be wiped out by a banana disease?
God.
Yes, but
lack of genetic diversity.
Right, because they're all clones, because we have bred them to fit in our hands to eat them.
Yeah, because we like the taste and the convenient size. Yeah.
We've bred them for their size, shape, and flavor, so... Ray, as everyone knows, the banana is a crop that we spent a millennia cultivating.
I feel like if the banana was designed by God, then the pineapple must be the work of Satan, right? Like everything about that fruit is trying to keep you from eating it. And yet, here we are.
I mean, durian also maybe.
It's
like one of those where it's hard to get into. And when you get into it, you're like, oh, no. But then you eat it. And apparently it's quite good. I haven't tried it yet. There are also 12 other different kinds of bananas, the Cavendish, Burro, Manzano, Plantain, Red, Blue Java, Ladyfinger, Apple, Rhino Horn, Goldfinger. They're all different sizes and shapes, and wild bananas are filled with seeds. And so it's a silly argument.
Yes.
I bring this up not to make fun of Ray, although anytime I can.
There's fodder there, but...
That is the problem with the argument that our fingers are the same size as our nostrils. Because they're not really. We just think they are, because my finger, it's the same size as my nose. Which is just it's a bad argument. It's a logical fallacy. But the point is, the science actually doesn't bear that out. Because on its face, you're like, definitely my nose and my finger are the same size.
Right.
But science has studied facial features and fingers and nostrils and all sorts of things, and they don't actually measure up, interestingly. Have you ever heard of anthropometry? Anthropometry? Anthropometry.
I have not heard any of those pronunciations before.
We've only been doing it for about 100 and so years. During the American Civil War, a dude named Benjamin Gould, an astronomer, was hired by the U.S. Sanitary Commission and published a study in 1869, and it was the first mass study of a non-criminal and prison population of average human sizes. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
So ages, statures, hair color, eye color, skin color, complexion. And these kinds of studies were typically done, again, on prisoners. So this was done on the U.S. Army. And they found in this study, they started learning about all sorts of things. For example, prior to this, we didn't realize that your arm ratio to your leg or height ratio, we didn't realize that was a thing. No one ever put that together. Till 1888, a Frenchman, Francis Galton, realized that they were related to their height. Yeah. Because everything was custom made. It wasn't like there was a factory out there stamping out clothing. It was like, oh, you need a new shirt? All right, your mom will make it. Your wife will make it. Your grandma will make it. Your whatever will make it. You can go buy one if you're rich.
There wasn't a aggregation of data to then go, hey, the people who need these size pants also tend to need this length sleeve.
Right, yeah. They never really, I'm sure there were tailors that had put that together, intuited that. But we hadn't realized that humans grow in ratios and that we can make those comparisons. Until the 1860s, all clothes was made custom. And in the American Civil War, there was such a need for uniforms that's part of the reason they commissioned this study, because they were like, we need to know how big everyone is so we can make them all uniforms. And it turns out we can make them all into about 4 sizes, small, medium, large, extra large, which is what they used after this study came out. And that's how we got clothing sizes that we still use today.
Cool.
Yeah. Women's clothing was still custom until the early 1900s. And then in the 20s, they did another study. In the 40s, women's uniforms for the Second World War were invented or created in a more standardized way. And there was a survey by the Women's Army Corps that collected the most common body measurements of 15,000 women. And they found a standard sizing system that is also still used by the fashion industry for women's clothing today, which is why they're different as well. If you notice, they come at different times and with different priorities. So really interesting stuff. I do want to point out anthropometry, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anthropometry.
We're experts.
Here, it's that word.
Anthropometry.
Okay, great.
It's so
Anthropometry.
Unsatisfying coming out of your mouth.
It's really not great. That's where we got race science and like the beginnings of some eugenics-y sciences where it's like, oh, we measured everybody's heads and these people's heads are bad heads and these people's heads are good heads.
Well, you mentioned how before, right, when they had a captive prison population, I remember reading about people studying, criminals and trying. First of all, some of it was to try and identify people before things like fingerprints became in
Minority
vogue
Report.
No
Unfortunate pun intended in this case.
They would take like people's the distance between these two things on their face and their name and their birthday, and that's how they'd be like, this is definitely our man, and then of course there were still people who were like John Smith, born in like August 25th or whatever.
Yeah,
I accidentally rhymed. Who would be a criminal? Yeah. Who would be like, confused with another John Smith born on August 25th with the same ratios. But yeah, they would, of course, take all that data from prisoners and then go, well, can we find a pattern here? And what do these things make somebody prisoner? But you have a selection bias there because you're drawing from prisons only and not like outside the prison.
Yeah, exactly. And so all of this, interestingly, Francis Galton, who I mentioned before, invented the term correlation because of these anthropometry studies. Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Nobody ever had a word before for like, hey, these things are...
They seem to be connected.
But they're not necessarily related.
But they're not
They don't
causal.
necessarily influence each other. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, there was the anthropometric survey is still done to this day in the U.S. Army. The last one that I could find was done in 2017. Now it's called the Anthropometric Survey of U.S. Army Personnel. Neat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I say all of this, and this is a huge run-up to kind of talk a little bit about the nose. Nostrils, I searched high and low. I found studies about nostril dimensions of newborns in Brazil, Malaysian newborn and child hand dimension, finger length, but nothing with similar enough populations and methodologies. Nobody was like, hey, is the finger the same size as the nostril in the same study?
Right.
That didn't happen. A study by Roberts and Porter in Resuscitation from 2003 explored the size of the nasopharyngeal airway, which is the tube that goes from the nose to the pharynx down the back of the sciences. And it's common knowledge within the medical community when they're talking about it, they'd be like, oh, it's like the size of a little finger or the size of your nostril. So they went and found that that is not the case at all. And in fact, there's no correlation there. And it's more appropriate to size it dependent upon the patient's sex, race, or size of the person. So most of these studies are basic research, right? They're just collecting data about human populations and trying to find things that correlate ratios, So there are face studies of like sizes of different face shapes, eye to ear ratio, nose to chin ratios. A lot of them have to do with something practical. Like, I need to measure this person for dentures, but rather than like measuring every nook and cranny of their face, I'll measure these two things and then I'll be able to approximate their denture. So we needed to think about what fingers do other than pick noses. And there's a bunch of studies of lots of different things regarding hand sizes and hand widths and finger widths, but noses, such a hard thing to find studies on, right? I found a study of average nasal anthropometric measurements in 108 young Turkish males.
The study was conducted in Turkey, right?
I hope so. They needed to get hair replacement, but for their nose. It's very Turkish. Allah measurement, do you know what that is? I didn't.
No.
Yeah, it's the measurement from the outside of the two little nostril flares that you have, the Allahs. That's your Allah measurement. Right. And then there's the camella width, which is the thing in between the nose.
What?
Yeah, camella. So the Allah measurement on average was 23.14 millimeters or 0.91 inches, and the camella was 5.34 millimeters, 0.21 inches. So nostril approximations of 9 millimeters each in this population of Turkish men. Then I found a study of Canadian men where the Allah nose width was like a ratio, unfortunately, 26% of face width. So I was like, that sucks, because they were talking about plastic surgery. So like, I just need it to be a width of the face ratio.
Proportional measurement.
Yeah, so you look normal. Then I looked up studies about gloves, figuring the fashion stuff. Maybe there's somebody who like studied glove things, or like surgeons where they have to have their gloves fit very well. And I found one, but they just used glove size. They didn't measure things. Then I looked at haptics.
They didn't measure it in nostril widths?
Apparently not. Then I looked at haptics to see finger widths, because I was trying to get essentially... Okay, we've got the diameter of a nostril of these 108 Turkish men at 9 millimeters. So that's just a measurement we can work with. And then I found a study on haptics in a journal about computer science and computer engineering, where they looked at whether keyboards were the right size for the average person's finger. And I'm like, so I'm trying to do a back-end correlation of my own with populations that don't match up. But just like, there's got to be some information somewhere. And they took measurements of people's fingertips to size keyboard keys correctly, which is pretty cool. The averages are hard to tell because it's a graph and they didn't publish their actual like hard numbers. But the index finger is 13.8 millimeters. That's nowhere close to 9. Not even close.
That's bigger.
Yeah. Middle finger on average 14.2 millimeters. The ring finger 13.5, and the little finger 11.5. Then I looked at the N of the study. The population of the study was 16 students in Germany. And I was like, Germany's close to Turkey. Anyway.
They were allies that one time.
Yeah, I think we can see the... Oh, wow. I think we can see the problem.
If we're trying to draw a link here, that's the best I got.
That's a pretty good one. Long story short, finger to nostril size is fascinating. And not to knock my man Trevor or anybody else, but... evolution didn't make our fingers for picking our nose. The nose is made of cartilage. It's very stretchy. Some people's nostrils are far bigger than their fingers. Some are not. There's not a ratio. It's not like height to arm width. It's not like, oh, you are this tall or your hands are this big, so your nose has grown proportionally for a reason. That's not the case.
Oh, okay. I understand that. Sure, saying our noses were made to be the same size as our fingers is spurious. Not accurate.
Yeah.
Facetious. But here's what I'm kind of more interested in at the heart of all this, and I wonder if you looked into it. Why do we do it? Is there a benefit to it?
I did look into that,
Thank
Julian.
you.
That's where we'll go next. There are 12 different known animals that pick their nose.
Okay. Are they all apes?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Humans, gorillas, bonobos, chimpanzees, orangutans, macaques, capuchins.
So monkeys and apes. Yeah.
Yeah. The 12th animal we learned recently, I'm going to show you a video. And we'll have new associate producer Sabrina put it on our Instagram. Describe what you're looking at.
Oh, it's like an absolute nightmare animal in infrared night vision goggles, so its eyes are glowing, and it's just jamming a stick, a big old long sharp stick.
It's not its stick. That's its finger.
That's its finger? This is a new nightmare that you've just unlocked for me. I will see this in my dreams all the time. It's on a fence in some urban area, so this thing lives near people, and it shouldn't. It should be squashed from existence.
That's called an eye.
I hate it. That's the most horrible thing I've ever seen. Is there a picture of one in the daylight where it doesn't look like a dead and buried possum that's come back to life?
I didn't realize you'd be so upset.
It's a freaky looking thing. I've never heard of this animal.
It's a lot.
Where does it live? Under my bed?
Here's the drawing of its hand.
Ah!
Notice it's really long. Okay. Here's this is even better. Here's a picture, hand-drawn, of it. Look at its one long, bony...
Slender Man and a macaque had a baby. What on earth?
So that's the eye. The eye, we just learned in 2022, picks its nose. And you just saw a video of it doing that.
Oh, world champion nose picker.
That spider finger, it made me very uncomfortable when I saw it, because it was getting way in there.
I am rethinking what you said about, our fingers and noses, they weren't made for each other. That thing's got one weird long finger that it's like it's cleaning an old-timey rifle barrel with a ramrod.
That's accurate. That's
what
very
on
accurate.
earth is that thing?
That's a red lemur, known as an eye, and it's got extremely long fingers. It uses it like a woodpecker. So it's mostly bone, and it knocks it against the tree to listen to see if there are grubs and like hollow spaces in the tree. I have a video of that, but based on your reaction, we'll skip it.
This thing is a grub snipe. Anyway. I'm going to dream of myself safe and snug inside a log and then hear like this dunk,
dunk, dunk, dunk, dunk, dunk. And it does it really fast. This animal picks its nose and like champion level. Yeah. Like it's picking its brain. Let's be honest. It's got to be up in there. So animals that nose pick tend to be dexterous and use their tools to do it. The II deny them to do that.
No.
And even after this discovery, and along with all these other animals that do this, we have no idea why animals do it. There are a lot of hypotheses, boosting the immune system is one you hear a lot. Like, kids pick their nose and eat it to like ingest bacteria that are trapped in their mucus or whatever. And it helps train the immune system or boosts their immune system. There's no scientific evidence to support that in studies they've done that I could find. But, it's a fun thought. There is evidence, however, the opposite, that people who pick their nose tend to get sicker and tend to get more infections. So the Journal of the National Medical Association, way back in 1963, calls the habit disgusting in this editorial
Very
that
judgmental.
They posted. It was like, you could tell it was the 1960s that this doctor's like, this is disgusting antisocial habit.
Science says this is gross.
We don't know what the science says, but I think it's yucky, so I'm going to write it.
In my professional opinion.
My professional opinion, madam, you are disgusting. So this person in the 60s says it should be avoided because of bleeding, infection, perforation of the nasal septum, and even cancer. He was not right.
No, that seems silly. I bet he said that.
They went and did a study on that, and they were like,
I bet he was like, boy, what's with all these high cancer rates? Well, better treat them with more cigarettes while we figure out if it's nose picking.
Well, the person picks his nose, so I guess he should just, you know what, sir? Go buy 2 more packs of cigarettes to keep your hands busy and out of your face.
It can't be the cigarettes. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend them.
So there is a connection between nose pickers and illness, a Galton correlation, but there may be some causation. So cells in the nose called goblet cells, they look like little cups, literally trap bacteria and viruses and pollen and dust. And that mucus has antibodies in the mucus in your nose. The snot has antibodies that fight those things and like keep them under control. The nose also has its own microbiome, which is cool. And normally the mucus drains down the back of your throat. So you wouldn't really need to pick it out and eat it. You're already eating it. You just aren't doing it manually. Oh. You're doing it already.
So all those people who judge the heroes out there that are picking their nose and eating it, they're no better than the rest of us.
I mean, we're all eating it.
Did I give too much about myself away on that one?
I guess. We're all eating it no matter what.
Yeah.
You don't need to manually go around the horn and get the flavor.
That's true.
You know?
You gotta savor the flavor.
It's going to go down the throat no matter what. The reason that the studies I could find, they would say you open yourself up to infection because you could scratch the inside of your nose. And since it is a place where this kind of stuff gets trapped, you could be basically offering up a hole into your body that this stuff that's already trapped in there could then spread into.
That makes sense, right? And you get into like your bloodstream, and
right?
It's kind of near your brain and stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of people who pick their nose also in the microbiome that they checked of their noses, if they surveyed, said they nose picked, and then they tested their microbiome, they found more Streptococcus pneumoniae, which is infection, including pneumonia. And one study found Staphylococcus aureus in the nose, especially people who picked their nose, which had more. Again, not causal, correlative. And then Mr. Judgy, 1960s doc that wrote the editorial, said that, again, scratching it can cause problems. But a more recent study by Lavelle and PLOS One from 2023 looked at nose picking and wearing glasses, and found it did either of those two things increase COVID-19 infections with hospital staff? Did wearing glasses and then you touch your glasses spread more COVID-19? Did picking your nose when you're a nurse or a doctor, did that spread more COVID-19? I think we know the answer. I think we know the answer to this one.
Yeah. Yes.
Then the answer is, of course, yes.
Yeah.
Nose picking correlated with an increased risk. Wearing glasses did not. So, Trevor, honestly, not picking your nose, does that solve anything? The answer is, yeah. It keeps you from getting COVID-19 if you work in a hospital. It keeps you maybe. It probably doesn't keep you, but it decreases your risk. It might keep you healthier in general because you don't open up yourself to infection, but it probably won't hurt you. And there's no evolutionary reason why we do it, but there's also apparently no evolutionary pressure to stop, because otherwise we wouldn't.
And I'm not going to. But thank you for all this info.
I think also what it should solve is keeping nose goblins out of the environment. Please don't do that. We've all done it, everyone in the audience. We've all done it. We picked our nose, you got nowhere to wipe it.
Yeah.
So you flick it.
The old pick and flick.
The old pick and flick. The thing, a bunch of the studies and a bunch of the things about this were like, don't do that.
What?
Wipe it on a tissue and then wash your hands because you just stuck your finger in a mucosal microbiome filled with trapped viruses and bacteria. So you should clean your hands before you touch other people after you pick your nose.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one thing I can see why we would have this is so if you have a younger sibling, you can pick your nose and then chase them around with the booger on your finger. And that's funny. That's a funny thing that people do.
Well, I'm glad you told me.
So that's, I mean, don't do it now. Now that we're adults, it's weird. But when you're like between the ages of like 5 and 20, hilarious.
It's a big range. Well, thanks for your question, Trevor. Let's take a quick break so that we can all just like pick our nose in silence for a second.
Yeah, clear out those bats that you got hanging out.
Yeah, and we'll come back with another question. Julian, give me your best dinosaur roar.
Oh, God, an asteroid! It's horrible!
Wow, that was not where I expected that to go. We're popping in before the show to tell you about I Know Dino. It's a dinosaur podcast.
You know, we think of those dinosaurs being this thing that's been dead for tens of millions of years. Even so, studying dinosaurs can still teach us stuff that is relevant to the world today.
Yeah, like climate models to help us understand global warming.
Migration patterns of dinosaur lineages, they tell us about Earth's changing continents.
We can also study dinosaur diets, what plants lived then and maybe what animals and how they interact.
And, this is super cool, many dinosaur injuries, paleopathologies, they're the first known occurrences of diseases.
And they talk about all this kind of stuff on I Know Dino. It comes out every week with new dinosaur stories that you're not going to hear anywhere else. Like I hadn't heard of a lot of these, which is pretty cool.
You can find I Know Dino on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever podcasts are. And if you found us, you can probably find them. Go check them out.
I guess we're back now. I'm still trying
Hold on.
Don't
Got it.
chase me around. Don't flick it in my office. Julian.
No, I'm going to put this boogie now.
Yeah, I think we both know where you're going to put it.
This boogie.
Back up your nose.
Oh, sorry. I've got to return it.
Where it belongs.
Got to return this booger to the booger store.
The booger store.
Get my receipt.
The Booger Factory.
Oh, no, it was a gift.
Honestly, the Booger Store is like a really good album name for like a, like a pop punk, like the Offspring or something. The Booger Store, but they're all teenagers. Welcome to the Booger Store. Maybe this is me. I don't know.
I can't take you seriously sometimes. Okay.
So, Julian.
Yes.
You also have a question to answer in our podcast. What's your question?
I do.
And is it about boogers?
It is not, sadly.
Oh, dang it.
That one was the only one in our whole database booger related. Can you believe it?
Good old snorters.
My question comes from Phillipe, who asks, what percentage of the Earth's mass would it take to make a Dyson sphere?
Okay, so like how much are we mining and digging up to then build something that goes around the sun?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I've never thought about it, but this is the biggest evidence I've ever thought of that's like, dang, we ain't doing this.
Yes. I have personal gripes about Dyson spheres, but actually in researching this, I think I was able to kind of resolve some of them for myself.
Oh, cool.
So I'll take you through that little journey.
Thank you.
But Philippe's question about a Dyson sphere, I think to sci-fi nerds, as soon as you see Dyson sphere, you know what they're talking about. But
Dyson sphere Zeppelins. Now we're in another universe.
We're in a different
universe. There's an alternative reality, and we're in it.
But for those who may not be as sci-fi nerdy as we are, what's a Dyson sphere?
A Dyson sphere is a way of energy collecting from a sun. It has to do with the Kardashev civilization 2, right? Where you're collecting all the energy from your star. Usually, I think that's where people would put them. You could, essentially it's a giant construction in space around a star that's collecting its energy.
Yes.
How? magic.
Magic.
Like Jedi magic, like there's some tech to it, but we don't know how it works.
I'm shocked you didn't bring up the Star Trek Next Generation episode with a Dyson sphere.
Oh no, am I a bad Trekkie?
I marked it. I started. I was like, there's no
Julian.
way we don't talk about
What are you doing
TNG Season 6, Episode 4, Relics.
Oh.
In which they encounter a Dyson sphere. And apparently Scotty from the original series is there too.
Yeah, the one where Scotty comes to the Enterprise D.
No, I'm not a big Star Trek guy. We've talked about this, but I was looking up the episode and things about it. And apparently some people are kind of upset because it's a literal, like, gigantic mega structure encapsulating an entire
the
star.
whole thing.
Right.
And they have to, like, go find a door to get in it.
Yeah. That kind of puts everything else in the entire series to shame. Like, the Borg cube ain't nothing compared to this entire thing.
Yeah.
And then it just never gets brought up again in Star Trek lore.
Honestly, that sounds right.
But yes, the idea in this Next Generation episode, and well, I guess really about the Dyson spheres in general, is that some future alien civilization is so advanced and their energy needs are so great, their population's so huge that they just need to get as much of their star's energy as possible, right? Because here on Earth, we're getting plenty for our needs day to day, but the sun's just shooting off energy in every direction.
Crazy amounts.
Yeah.
And we're only getting the
little bitty pinprick. Yeah.
Like, we're getting one Booger store amount. Is that a unit? Is it a unit now?
The sun is basically flicking boogers of energy at us.
It's flicking boogers in every direction.
You can think of
and
sunlight
only like a couple of them
as the sun's boogers.
It's yellow.
It's true. A solar flare is like a big ball of snot.
That's when you sneeze and you're just like...
What if we just put every astronomical concept into gross biological terms?
Honestly, great.
Perfect.
Let's do it. We could have a whole podcast.
Right. So we're getting the sun's boogers, but we could be getting just like all the mucus, right? That it's just exploding out every single way.
Wow.
Including not at us or stars in general, right?
Yeah.
Since they're big old spheres and they're blasting off energy everywhere.
I do think that the Dyson sphere we often picture is a total, Easter egg covering a star, but it could just be partly covering as well. Remember there was that tabby star, I think, that was flickering in a weird pattern and we couldn't figure out the pattern. It wasn't like, there's something passing it, there's something regular about its orbit or, that we can determine. It seems to be really irregular. Maybe it's a Dyson sphere.
Yes.
And there were nerds that were like, it's gotta be a Dyson sphere.
So yes, here's my gripe, right? Is that people really want to be alive when we discover alien life.
Yeah, true.
That's like a thing we're obsessed with.
I want to be alive when we're discovering alien life. And just, is there a problem with that?
Yeah, no, I mean, we all want that, but that's a big claim, right?
It's a big claim.
And big claims require big evidence. So there's been multiple times.
I think that is what the smartest man around, Mr. Carl Sagan, said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big claims require big evidence.
Exactly. So
he just used bigger words.
Because he's smarter than both of us. But anyway... Yeah, we always see these kind of like anomalous things, and one of the possible explanations on a big, big list is some sort of extraterrestrial activity.
Yeah.
But that's the one, of course, that people glom onto, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
like a booger. So they really glom onto it.
Yeah, on a finger.
Like a booger on a finger that you're chasing your sister with.
I mean, just the other day there was an announcement that we may have seen some signs that could indicate life on an alien planet. And of course, already people who are not as judicious in their language are like, we've discovered life. And it's like, no. We've seen some signatures that are consistent with byproducts of life that we know it on Earth, but it's one possible explanation of many.
Right.
Right. Same thing for when stars are flickering in weird ways. Same thing for Oumuamua, right? That big, cigar-shaped rock that flew through our solar system.
And everybody was like, it's an alien spaceship.
Yeah, and it's like...
Yeah, it's probably not.
Probably not. Not saying it's not, but like of all the things that it could be, it's low. So yeah, every now and then there's some news story about, hey, there's this one particular star that doesn't seem to be flickering in any sort of regular pattern. Maybe it's something. And all the nerds go, Dyson sphere! It's a Dyson sphere!
Yeah.
Maybe,
not all the nerds. Not all nerds, Julian. Hashtag not all nerds.
And the person who coined this term, or at least who it was named for, Freeman Dyson, envisioned it in these multiple different ways.
Is that the guy with the crowbar, the Black Mesa guy? Freeman Dyson?
That's Gordon Freeman.
Oh, got it. Yeah, sorry. I got this. Got those really confused every time.
British-American physicist who solved problems in like quantum mechanics and astronomy.
Right.
Or the silent maniac who beat up scores of government agents
in a video game.
There's some joke about Gordon Freeman, this untrained scientist, just defeating all these Black Ops commandos with a crowbar. And Freeman's thinking somebody like dubbed over the whole game doing like his internal monologue. And he's like, the more of these guys I kill, the better it looks for me, because nobody's going to believe that some egghead physicist
kill a bunch of dudes.
Can kill all of these basically like SWAT operatives. They're just not going to believe it. Like Delta Force was taken out by one nerd with an MIT degree. Anyway, so let's talk about Freeman Dyson a little bit, where this idea came from. So the first proposal of this, and Freeman Dyson will credit this, actually comes from a novel called Star Maker that came out in 1937 by Olaf Stapledon.
Oh, I love early 20th century sci-fi books.
Yes.
They're so good.
They are so cool and so imaginative and so, kind of like steampunky unintentionally, because that's the technology of the time.
So cool.
So in 1960, Freeman Dyson wrote a paper. It's only like a page long, and it was published in Science. And he's just proposing different ways that we can look for extraterrestrials. Because at the time, they were thinking, hey, why don't we start looking for radio waves that other civilizations are emitting? And we'll look for them in these specific frequencies, right? And Freeman Dyson writes this paper, and he says, hey, imagine a civilization so advanced that their energy needs are so high that they have built this structure around their star to capture all of its energy. And so they've completely occluded their star from outside observers, right?
Yeah.
If they're catching all of the visible light, then we're not going to actually see a physical star there in the visible wave range. But if it's capturing all this light, it's probably heating up this structure, and that structure is giving off infrared light. So maybe another thing we should be looking for is just concentrated points of infrared light. Even if there doesn't seem to be a star there, maybe an explanation for that could be this alien megastructure, right? And it wasn't so much a proposal. I think this is where a lot of stuff gets lost today. People think he was saying, oh, well, they're definitely going to make these things, or we're going to make these things at some point, right? These megastructures. And really what he was saying was like, let's just be open-minded about what the possible signs of life could be.
And that's, I love that you brought that up, because that's what I was thinking while you were talking, because I'm like, oh yeah, this was the time in human history most recently where we were like trying so hard to think outside the box. We just invented all of this incredible technology in the early 20th century, and we were trying to put it all to good use. And so they're like, now that we know these things about the universe, what could other people do with it? And we're trying to laterally think. And this is one of those examples of thinking laterally and being like, okay, well, if you did all this, what would the follow-on effects be? What could cause some of these things? What would correlate with some of these things? To use some vocab from this episode. But yeah, that's so cool. Wow.
So it's not about looking for the sphere itself. It's just, again, Freeman saying we need to explore different ways. We need to be open-minded about what signs of life might look like, and then, maybe pursue those as well. They might be worth it. And so he comes up with his idea for this giant sphere, and he does some math, actually, on what it would take. So Dyson did imagine taking an entire planet and disassembling it and reassembling it into this sphere that completely encapsulates a star. He didn't suggest using the Earth, like Phillipe suggests. He thinks you might need as much mass as Jupiter.
The whole planet?
The whole planet. So
wow.
Jupiter is over 300 Earth masses.
Oh, wow.
Or if we're going to put it in percentages, it's 31,800% of Earth's mass.
That's a lot of percent. This is a big percent.
And this is Dyson imagining, by the way, in his words in the 1960 paper, a 2 to 3 meter thick shell around the entire sun at about 2 times Earth's distance from it. So 2 to 3 meters, not very thick.
No.
I mean, not even 10 feet to put it in freedom units, right?
Yeah,
and he's imagining this also being like the biosphere that things could live on as well, which sounds terrifying. Can you imagine being set like 10 feet away from the cold darkness of space just under your feet? Anyway.
I mean, the lunar module is less than that. It's only a few sheets of aluminum foil.
Yeah, you poke through it, supposedly, right?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah. On the outside.
Yeah,
anyway.
Outside.
But Dyson proposed that the amount of energy it would take to take apart a planet and rearrange it into a sphere this big is about the same amount of energy that the sun puts out in 800 years.
Oh.
But I think we run into a bit of a chicken and egg problem where it's like, okay, yeah, once we've got this sphere that can harvest all of the sun's energy and somehow turn it into a usable form that we could deconstruct a planet, then we could deconstruct a planet and make something that harvests all the sun's energy.
So we have to deconstruct one planet the hard way, and then we can deconstruct a bunch of other planets the easy way after that.
Once you get your first planet deconstructed,
that's what they say.
You never forget your first planet.
You never forget your first planet.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
I was 18 when I finally got my first planet.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Congrats.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on the right planet.
Oh, you know what? That's so sweet.
Thanks.
That's really sweet. I'm really glad.
So,
aren't you married?
Yes, but I'm very shy.
To a planet.
To a planet. Now, that's Dyson's own estimates on how much energy, how much mass it would take, but other people disagree because, of course, they do. So another astrophysicist named Hakeem Alusi, he was actually on Neil deGrasse Tyson's podcast, and they talked about Dyson spheres, and he thinks the whole thing's kind of ridiculous. He doesn't think there's enough mass in our entire solar system to be able to actually spread it around the sun. He likened it to taking your eyeball and stretching all the material out in it to surround a basketball.
Whoa!
Right.
Firstly, you have successfully made an astrophysical thing into a disgusting biological thing. Congratulations.
Thank you. They did it before we did it. Yeah, they did it first.
But yucky.
Yucky gross, right. But also, you get their point of a planet in comparison to a star is so small. There's so little material there to spread out. Even if you're right up on that star trying to spread it out, it's not an easy thing to do. And then also, Neil deGrasse Tyson says what I'm thinking, which is, if you're using this much energy to take apart planets, why are your energy needs not met to begin with?
Yeah.
But I think here they're losing the forest for the trees and what we're talking about, right? Which is they're laughing off this whole idea of a Dyson sphere. And again, the point of the entire paper wasn't, this is a thing that we should look for. It's, let's think of more ways that we might discover
if someone built this crazy thing.
Right.
You know, it's like looking for buildings on a horizon, and it's like, oh, well, should we look for trees? And Neil and Hakeem are like, yeah, you should look for trees. And then Freeman's like, you should look for skyscrapers that are miles high.
You should be open-minded about what you might see out there.
And they're like,
you
that's
don't know.
silly. No one would build that.
Right.
And you're right. No one would build it, but should we look for it? Maybe.
And then in this podcast episode, by the way, they start laughing and going, well, anyway, all you would see if it was completely surrounding a star is just infrared light. And I was losing it. I'm like, that's the point of the paper.
Yeah, losing the forest for the trees seems correct.
A little bit. Listen, I'm not an astrophysicist, but like I said, I think we've become so fixated on the structure itself that we forget what Dyson was really talking about.
I feel like listener/friend of the show, Greg, is going to be like, you should have had me on to talk about the Dyson sphere.
I bet Greg's got many thoughts.
He's in his house right now being like,
Shout out Greg Fish, who I've used as an expert in the past.
Thank you, Greg.
Okay, so that said, we are still having modern searches for Dyson spheres or things like Dyson spheres. And like you suggested, Freeman Dyson even said, hey, they might not make a whole perfect shell, right?
Yeah.
That's impractical for many reasons. Also, you know, they might have a binary star system, and you might see an infrared signature coming from what appears to be not a star, but you know it's there based on how the stars are orbiting, right? He really imagined all these different scenarios.
Yeah.
Later, he ended up saying, like, I really think of it more as like a swarm of objects that would be...
Yeah, I think that makes more sense. I mean, if it's going to be rigid, and again, not an astrophysicist, just a nerd who thinks about things a lot, I always thought of it as like more of a ring, more like the Halo system, you know, or the Elysium. You know, it's like just a ring in the middle. Because, one, you still need the planets in the frickin' solar system still need the sun If this is your solar system, if this is your solar system, you're like blocking out your own windows with tinfoil.
Right.
And you're like, that's fine.
It's good. Well, this way I keep all the light that I turn on inside my house inside.
Destroyed. So like a ring, cool, or a swarm, cool. Like then the light still gets through and we still get to share that energy even though we're not using 100% of it.
Right. So there are recent studies that are looking for stars that are still visible, but like we mentioned, maybe have kind of a funky, weird signature. There was a 2024 paper that came out about Project Hephaestus.
Ooh.
They looked at infrared data from a bunch of different instruments, the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, or WISE from NASA, Gaia from the European Space Agency, the 2-micron all-sky survey, or 2MASS. And in total, they looked at 5 million red dwarfs. And they filtered them for all sorts of different parameters to basically see, is any of these doing any kind of weird, inexplicable, for the most part, flickering that maybe we could attribute to Dyson spheres.
Yeah.
And of the 5 million stars that they sampled, they concluded that 7 of them were candidates.
What?
For actually
That's
having...
a lot, though. That's more than I would have said none.
It is.
I would have said 0. 7.
7 out of 5 million. There's still disagreement about this because
of course.
There are other things that could make these stars seem to give off more infrared light than the type they should normally be giving off.
They could be really angry in a cartoon.
Yeah. Stop trying to build a big shell around me. No, so some of the things that could affect this would be like a big cloud of dust. Mm-hmm. Say, if they're still in their early stages and, the cloud of dust that planets eventually form out of is still around them, that could be absorbing the light and re-emitting in infrared. There could have been a planetary collision that causes a big debris field, something like that. Or they could have been mistaking stars for my new favorite space acronym, hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Hot dust-obscured galaxies.
Oh, I love it. I was like, hyper octag. No, hot dust-obscured galaxies.
Right.
It's great.
There's hot dogs. So people who are not involved in this study look at the results and they go, okay, maybe. Or there's some plausible things that admittedly are very rare, right? Planetary collisions are not things that we expect to see very often.
Sure.
But
there's a lot of planets out there. 7
candidates out of 5 million means, what they've found is clearly pretty rare things. So maybe some of these are like star collisions or instead or something and not Dyson spheres.
Isn't the Tabby star one that I mentioned earlier? They were like, it's probably dust. It's probably one of these
Yes,
things.
exactly.
And it's just like some of the dust is denser in some places than others for some reason.
I think if I remember correctly, it was like some sort of planetary collision, and then you still have big chunks o' planet that are going around like regularly.
Chunks of planet.
Chunko planet.
My favorite cereal.
Okay. Now, with all that said, I still decided I'm going to take a stab at doing some actual math in case Phillipe wants to know.
Podcast math.
It's the most reliable. We've never had to do multiple pickups because I've gotten one equation wrong multiple times.
Not every time.
I'm usually pretty good on it.
I
but
would
anyway,
say 60% of the time you're good.
60% it works every time. Okay. So I'm going to try and take Philippe's question of we're mining the Earth, the actual Earth itself. We're trying to build a Dyson sphere, not a swarm, but like a full sphere out of it.
A Star Trek The Next Generation Relics sphere.
Yes. Season 6, episode 4, as everybody knows.
As everybody knows, including me. I, of course, knew that.
Okay. So we're building one Star Trek style, complete solid shell around the sun. And I think, you know what? We're already on Earth. Let's not do Dyson's thing of like having it twice the distance from Earth. We're here. Let's just start building it from here,
Oh, okay.
Why
wow.
not?
So he was thinking Dyson is like, put it out way out in the solar system so you're inside it.
Yeah. I only care about us.
You only care about us. So just like right on the other side
I don't care if Mars gets no light.
Yeah, screw that.
No.
Mars sucks.
We hate them. Big anti-Mars
We're
people
super
over
anti-Mars. No, thank you.
No,
Blech, Mars.
Yuck. I flick my boogers at you.
Just like the sun.
It's a cycle of violence.
Okay, so
all right. So we're just going to start just digging stuff up from the earth and just piling it. I think also maybe, we could have like a co-orbital building sites like at Lagrange points, right?
Ooh.
So Lagrange point 3, 4, and 5, right?
Yeah.
I figure we could also start constructing there and basically make a big ring.
That's a really nice use of time. Yeah, for sure. Super helpful.
Listen, we got to prepare for when our society's energy needs are so extreme.
Well, the way AI is going, it's just going to get there. I need to generate the biggest image.
Dad, why did they disassemble Jupiter? Well, son, I wanted to see what Jesus with lobster claws looked like.
Why did they disassemble Jupiter? Well, son, it all started with this guy named Hayao Miyazaki.
And he hated it. Okay, so we're building these things out, and I think, yes, let's start with just the halo ring at first, right?
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the most practical, and then we'll build the full shell after that.
Sure.
So the math for that's pretty simple, right? We're just basically making a big ring. Circumference of a ring is pi times d, and I'm going to have it be 1 meter wide and 1 meter thick, just to cheat with all the math, okay? Now, the distance from the Earth to the Sun is 1 AU, which is about 1.5 times 10 to the power of 11 meters.
It's a lot.
It's far. It's almost as far as here to the Sun. Oh, no, it's exactly that far. Okay, so diameter of that circle is 2 times that, so 3 times 10 to the power of 11 meters times pi. That means that this circumference of this ring that we've started building is about 9.4 times 10 to the power of 11 meters.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
And
Okay.
Then I just multiply it by the 1 meter thickness and the 1 meter width, and it's, the outer ring's going to be a little bit bigger, but it's a rounding error at this size. Who cares? And then, by the way, you might be wondering, what's going to happen with the moon's orbit? Is this going to ruin it?
We got to go on the outside?
No.
Leave a little hole.
No.
We leave a little hole so the moon can go.
The moon door. We slide the moon door to the side.
Yeah. And that way the moon can go in and out.
The big moon drawbridge.
Just
so the moon comes.
Here cometh the moon.
Right, but then the Greeks hide inside a big wooden moon.
Take this, Mars. Oh, that's so stupid.
Can't trust him. No, I figure we take the moon apart first because it's just there. Right?
Who needs it?
Who needs it? Tides? Not this guy.
Not important.
I don't care about maritime
just
travel
leave a mass
or
damper
coastal
there.
ecosystems. Okay, so we'll start by disassembling the moon, and then we don't have to worry about the pesky moon door. Okay, so we've taken apart the moon, and we're using more than just the moon. We're going to use the moon and the Earth. So I'm going to go with the Earth's average density.
Yeah.
And the moon is less dense, but also the moon is like 1% of the Earth's mass. So
yeah, it's pretty small.
Don't really care how much it's going to affect the Earth's density so much. So the Earth's average density is 5,514 kilograms per cubic meter.
Right.
It's heavier than the moon because we got that chunky iron core, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
So I'm just going to multiply that volume of our ring by that number. And I get that it would have a mass of 5.2 times 10 to the power of 15 kilograms.
Oh!
So that's
wow.
5.2, pentillion kilograms?
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's quite heavy, but the Earth is much more massive than that. That would actually be 0.000000087% of the Earth's mass.
Really?
Yes. Very small.
Earth is big.
It's quite, and remember, it's just a little ring. It's a 1 meter by 1 meter ring around the whole sun.
Yeah.
That seems doable, right? Do you think you think it's going well?
I mean, if it's that small, sure.
Yeah.
That's a very small. Why'd we have to take apart the moon if it was so little? I missed it.
Oh, we're going to need the moon now. If we go full Dyson sphere, full Star Trek style.
Not just the ring. I forgot this was just a ring.
Yeah, that was the one ring.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we're going to go bigger. So now I'm going to make it into a full...
Lost! The precious is lost! But the precious is the moon in this case, right?
Yeah. All right. Now a sphere, you can calculate the surface area with 4 pi r squared.
Sure.
And then again, it's going to be a meter thick. That would mean that our sphere would have a volume...
Oh, no.
The total material would be 2.8 times 10 to the 23 meters cubed, or 282 sextillion cubic meters.
Oh, my.
Oh, if I multiply that by the Earth's density, that's 1.56 times 10 to the power of 27 kilograms, or 261 times the mass of the Earth.
We need 260 Earths?
Yes. 261 Earths.
That isn't, and we still have to have ours at the end of it. Otherwise, what's the whole point?
Well, we flattened it out, right? Now we're living on the inside of this giant rotating sphere.
I want to be the last guy standing on the little print thing on the little Earth.
Slowly
and they're like,
Earth.
Yeah, Frank, I can't.
Step onto the inside
and
of it.
then you're just like, bonk.
It's fine.
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm fine.
Right. To make a ring, plenty of material for that. To make an entire sphere in the classic Star Trek sense, and the way that people think of Dyson spheres typically, yeah, you'd need 261 Earths. So
ours and 260 more.
So 26,104% of the Earth's mass. Phillipe, I hope that answers your question to your satisfaction.
Wow. Dang. Wild.
Yeah. So again, I know I'm beating a dead horse a little bit here. Probably not going to actually be built by any alien civilizations, but that's not the point.
Right.
Just got to keep an open mind on what might be out there. I want to believe in Dyson spheres.
Wow. That was a lot. We did a lot.
It was 261 times the...
We really dug into the snot of that episode.
We went mining for gold, and then we went mining for the entire Earth.
For all the rest of it.
All of it. Donate your boogers to the cause.
Yeah.
We need them for the sphere.
Every gram.
The sphere demands it.
Do it for the gram of mass that we need to make a Dyson sphere. Thank you to everyone out there listening. I'm Trace. I am one of the two people who help write, produce, create, and make this podcast happen. And the other one is that one right there.
Yeah, that's me, Julian Huguet.
He also does that.
I do. Special thanks as well to our editor and producer, Kyle. Kyle never picked his nose in his life.
He's never done it?
He's better than us.
He could build a Dyson sphere with 240 Earths.
He's
so efficient.
Famously. Oh, you're really misallocating your mass there.
He doesn't need to be 1 meter all the way
I can get
around.
that baby down to half a meter.
Definitely.
I know a guy. I know a guy who'll do you a Dyson sphere for way cheaper.
Special thanks to listeners who submitted questions featured in this episode. That would be Trevor and Phillipe. If you want to submit a question, go down into the show notes. Look for the ways to do that. You can call us on the phone, 302-TAPE-SHOW, TAPESHO. You can email us at hello@that'sabsurdshow.com. We do get all of our emails there. You can also submit if you're on Spotify in the comments. Our new associate producer, Sabrina, will go through and help put those into our database. You can even go to our website, that'sabsurdshow.com/ask.
Yeah, we've made this as easy as possible. And if we don't select it, after the first one, we may throw it into our Patreon poll, like Trevor's question was this week, and other listeners will select it, thus absolving us of any sort of appearance of bias. So if you want to go ahead and join our Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/that'sabsurdshow. We got a couple new patrons that we need to thank. That would be Damien and Avenge Hypatia, which seems like a directive that we must now follow.
I love it, though. Also, thank you to our absurd administrators on Patreon. That would be Les, Adam, Austin, Pinky, and Jonathan. Thank you to you all for helping keep this show going. We could not do it without your questions and your patronage. So thank you, everyone.
If you say Pinky and, you have to say the brain. We need another absurd admin.
What do you want to do tonight?
The brain.
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to turn the world into a Dyson sphere.
I saw Maurice LaMarche, by the way, at a live show. He's fantastic. He just did all his different voices, rapid fire.
Amazing.
Because he was prompted to. So good. Anyway, voice of the brain for those who aren't old.
Do you have a favorite Pinky and the Brain episode?
Hard to choose, but I do ascribe to the Pinky and the Brain conspiracy theory that the actual genius is Pinky.
I mean, it's a good theory. I think my favorite episode is the one where he has the generator that makes everyone magnetized to the ground. And they have to take off and Pinky's like, but Brian, what if everybody just take off the pants? And he was like, and it like legitimately, I remember as a child being like, the brain was stunned.
Yes.
He was just like, that was a good idea. And he's like, we'll have to work quickly.
I mean,
like,
the song goes, it's Pinky and the Brain. One's a genius, the other's insane. If you assume it's respectively.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Anyway, that lengthy detour took us off track from saying the next bit of the outro, which is a special thanks to our Nebula subscribers. Nebula subscribers get access to the show ad-free, even in the future when we're going to have ads in our podcasts
Let's
and
hope.
whatnot.
Yeah.
And on our YouTube channel as well. And you can watch the video version of our show over on Nebula as well. If you join Nebula, you support independent creators like us and a host of other fantastic Nebula creators that we are big fans of. And it's a lot of great exclusive content that you can only find there. Some original stuff, some of your favorite YouTube channels making stuff only for Nebula. So if you want to join that, support us, support them, you can go to nebula.tv/that'sabsurdshow.
You can. Or you can go to our YouTube channel if you want to watch the ads there. That also supports us. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode. As we say at the end of every episode of our show,
it's not a Dyson sphere, probably.
If you're gonna pick it, then you better flick it and then wash your hands. That's not a very good one.
When a problem comes along, don't flick it. Don't flick it good. Don't flick it.
I wrote some in my script. Tired, pick and flick. Wired, swipe and wipe.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, agreed. That's good health advice.
And for some reason I wrote Allah Allah and the Goblet of Viruses.
I would read that book.
It would be gross.
Why did you put your finger in the goblet, Harry?
Because my finger's the same size as my nose, sir.
It must be meant to be. Me finger, or me magic wand, as I call it. Oh, and they're all played by eyes.
Oh, God.
With their creepy wand fingers.
Wait.
What is it?
He's going to sacrifice himself.
No, you can't.
Do you want to stop Snot from getting my boogers or not? Harry, you've got to pick your nose. Not me, not Hermione, you.